Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Egypt circulates a draft resolution to the UN Security Council last night that demands an immediate halt to Israel's settlement building policy, said to be voted upon tonight. Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Aboul Gheit called on EU member states to block an Israeli bid to become a non-permanent member in the UN Security Council for 2019. Many Israelis who are keen to help the civilians in Israel's northern neighbor Syria have been donating both funds and clothing, as well as urging the government of Israel to do more to end the suffering of the Syrian people. Egypt circulated a draft resolution to the UN Security Council last night that demands an immediate halt to Israel's settlement building policy on lands the international community does not recognize as part of the Jewish state and views as territory that will be part of a future Palestinian state. The resolution declares that existing settlements have no legal validity and are a flagrant violation of international law, while stressing that the cessation of all Israeli settlement activities is essential for the implementation of the internationally aspired two-state solution, with Palestinians and Israelis living side by side in peace and security. The United Nations Security Council is scheduled to meet and vote on the draft resolution at 10 o'clock tonight. In response to the anticipated vote, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu urged the United States to veto the draft resolution, referring to it as an anti-Israel resolution. The United States cast a veto some 5 years ago, the only one during President Barack Obama's tenure, on a similar draft resolution. That said, diplomatic sources at the UN Security Council said that they did not know how Washington would vote this time around. Now to another matter. During a joint meeting of the European Union and the Arab League, the fourth of its kind, which was held in Cairo this week, Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Aboul Gheit called on EU member states to block an Israeli bid of becoming a non-permanent member in the United Nations Security Council for 2019 and 2020.
في نفس الوقت وفي نفس السياق فإننا نطالب دول الاتحاد الأوروبي والمجتمع الدولي بالتصدي بكل حزم لمسعى إسرائيل للحصول على مقعد غير دائم بمجلس الأمن، إذ يتناقض ذلك المسعى مع أبسط قواعد المنطق ومبادئ العدالة، فالاحتلال يجب إنهاؤه لا مكافأته بأن يصبح عضواً في جهاز الأمم المتحدة المنوط بحفظ السلم والأمن الدوليين.
Israel first made public its intention to contend for a seat on the UN Security Council in September of 2005, soon after it withdrew from the Gaza Strip. That month, then Prime Minister, the late Ariel Sharon, was warmly received in the United Nations because of the Israeli withdrawal from the Palestinian enclave, and then Foreign Minister Silvan Shalom announced that Israel would seek to join the powerful UN body in 2019. The two main contenders of Israel in winning the aspired seat on the prestigious council, however, are Belgium and Germany, making the prospects of winning a seat on the council a challenging endeavor. Nevertheless, Israel continues to lobby countries around the world to vote in its favor. Last week, during Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's state visit to the Central Asian country of Kazakhstan, a country that has systematically voted against Israel in the United Nations for years, the Israeli leader asked Kazakh President Nursultan Nazarbayev for assistance in getting Israel accepted as a rotating member of the 15-seat Security Council. The Security Council is composed of 5 permanent members, including the United States, Russia, China, France, and Britain, as well as 10 non-permanent members that are elected from the world body for 2-year terms by the General Assembly. Prime Minister Netanyahu has long desired a seat on the council because if the Jewish state would indeed become a member, Netanyahu said it would be further proof that Israel is not isolated on the international stage and of the dramatic changes its foreign relations are undergoing.
In this context, I asked President Nazarbayev to support the Israel bid for the Security Council seat. You know that we supported Kazakhstan's successful bid to be in the Security Council. Now, if you want a real change in the world, imagine the state of Israel on the Security Council of the United Nations. That's a change. And it's supposed to be in 2019. And I think it's far from, I think it's possible.
To date, the Jewish state is the only country in the Middle East that has not yet won a seat on the Security Council. Now, with regard to the conflict in Syria, during a joint EU Arab League meeting, the European Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini stressed that the military operations in Syria must be reinforced by political involvement of the international community to find a viable solution to the conflict, which is about to enter its 6th year.
We know that Syria cannot be turned in a black hole. We would all suffer from that. And we, Arabs, Europeans, cannot and will not allow that to happen. Someone far away can maybe at a certain moment think this conflict can end simply on a military basis. We know very well that there are people beyond numbers, and we share a responsibility to stop this war, especially for them. So when a political transition will begin, we will also need to work on a massive effort for the reconstruction of the country, and I underline when a political transition will begin. And it can be the most powerful dividend of peace, the most powerful leverage we can collectively use to end the war and start a political transition with a political intra-Syrian talks under the UN auspices.
In her speech, Mogherini also took the opportunity to denounce the wave of recent attacks by Islamists around the world.
We face a wave of inconceivable violence and terrorism that makes our gathering together, our meeting today, even more important, even more relevant, because I believe we share the common and deep conviction of the fact that only a common response to the terrorist violence can bring results for the sake of civilians across our region.
Meanwhile, in Israel, after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged this week to look into the possibility of bringing wounded refugees from Aleppo to Israeli hospitals for treatment, many Israelis who are keen to help the civilians in Israel's northern neighbor have been donating both funds and clothing.
אתה מרגיש שאנשים רק מתים לעשות משהו. עכשיו שוב, מה זה בגדים? זה קשקוש, זה לא יעצור שם שום דבר. אבל זה איזושהי הרגשה, כי אתה רואה את המראות ואתה נחנק, אתה לא יודע מה לעשות עם עצמך. הילד שלך ישן מעולה במיטה, הכל טוב, ושם הם מתחת להריסות. הם הולכים מפוחדים, מבועטים. וזה פה, הם שכנים, וזה בכלל לא קשור סורים, לא סורים, זה לא מעניין, זה בני אדם, זה חפים מפשע. מה שאפשר לעשות, עושים, ובאמת, עם ישראל יצא מגדרו.
The clothes will be transferred after all links to Israel will be removed from them to avoid threatening the civilians that receive the aid from getting into trouble once returning to the war-torn country, and will then be transferred to the Israeli Ziv Medical Center, which has treated wounded Syrian refugees in the past 3 years. In Jerusalem, chairman of Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial Museum, Avner Shalev, called on the international community to put an end to the massacres in Syria.
I think that the time has come, and the world leaders must take the right steps to stop those massacres, atrocities, and the murder, and to assist and give a hand to those victims who are looking for safe haven and humanity help.
Since the beginning of the war in Syria, some 500,000 people lost their lives in the bloody conflict, and some 11 million Syrians have lost their homes in what is perceived as the severest humanitarian crisis since World War II. Thank you for watching us. Praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have an Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.
In order to donate to TV7 Israel News, please follow these simple steps. First, press the Donate logo located at the bottom left side of TV7 Israel News Facebook page, or on the Donate tab at the head of the page. Then insert the amount you'd like to donate, and fill in your credit card information. Just like this. And press Review Donation and continue. After reviewing your donation details, please press Donate to finalize your donation. That's it! Your donation is now complete, and an email with your donation details has been sent to your email address. You can also print your donation receipt by pressing the link here. Thank you for supporting TV7 Israel News.